would go ahead and read the first chapter of our story. So, for those of you who are maybe not listening with your kids and you want to know when is appropriate for this, this would be the week before the first week in Advent. So, there's like 5 parts to this story, and there's 4 parts that are Advent, and then 1 part that is this week before. And this is the part that I'm going to read to you today. So, again, this is the GNOMES Yuletide Advent Mystery. Deep inside Mother Earth, where the root babies sleep, the gnomes are working all year long, tending the root babies, gathering the stones, and making sure all is well. All of the gnome kingdoms over the earth work together to take care of their own space and enjoying their own inner work of gaining wisdom. King Melchizedek, the king of the forest gnomes, is kind and wise. He leads the gnomes to do their work with great care and help them gain wisdom that they came to learn while they were on this earth. Each year, the king issued a wisdom challenge to all of the gnomes. The creator picks the 3 of the wisest gnomes to come before the king for the challenge. If they complete the challenge, they move up to help in other parts of the kingdom. Knock, 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 went King Melchizedek's crystal gavel as he called the gnomes to order. My dear brothers and sisters, please come to order. We have much business to cover on this first day of Advent. All of the gnomes filled the great crystal meeting hall and took their seat on amber benches. King Melchizedek gave the sign to Alpha and Omega, the wisest of the number gnomes, and all at once the space was lit to splendor, including a large, beautiful pine tree adorned with beautiful lights and shapes from nature. 3 of you have been chosen by our Creator to take part in the Wisdom Challenge. If you are these 3, please step forward, said the king. Out of the corners of the hall came 3 gnomes. One was a boy gnome and 2 young girl gnomes. The boy was William, a young gnome who was born in the forest. He was wise for his age and had sandy brown hair. The girls were Soraya and Amani. Both were wise and feisty. Soraya was born in the forest. She had long golden braids. Imani was born in a land far away. She had skin as dark as cocoa and wore her hair short under her gnome cap. The 3 approached the king, walking brave and tall. The king looked very pleased, for he knew these young gnomes well. They had been wonderful at tending the root babies and had shown great potential at knowing just where to gather the prettiest of stones. Are you ready for the challenge? Asked the king. We are, said the 3, as they looked at each other with excitement, remembering to also be reverent. So hard to be reverent when you're excited sometimes, isn't it? Let us begin, announced the king. You can see that our tree has many symbols from nature on it. Your first challenge is to bring me something from the mineral kingdom. It must be a symbol of strength and stability. Let us begin. The king excused the 3 from the hall to start their challenge, and the remaining gnomes finished their meeting by singing their winter songs. In the Advent garden, dark the night below, earth is waiting, waiting, waiting for the stars to glow. William, Soraya, and Imani walked into the forest and talked about what they were to find. Soraya spoke first. There are so many stones that it could be. There are so many great stones for strength, but I don't know which one would be for stability. Perhaps, pondered William, we should take a walk in the night air and that will help. The girls agreed. The air was brisk and quiet, and only the owls could be heard, and even they were low. It was the first night of Advent, and all of the creatures of the earth waited in anticipation for the winter solstice and the return of the sun. The days had grown short, and even though the first snow had just fallen, everyone in the forest seemed to look forward to the arrival of spring. Imani walked meditatively, and then suddenly she squealed with delight. Her happy sound could be heard across the forest, and even the trees groaned as their sleep was disturbed. "What is it?" asked William. Have you solved the mystery already? Yes, I think I have, she shouted. Again, the trees around her groaned, as if to tell her to quiet down. But Imani was a happy gnome. She was never calm and never quiet, and the trees knew that they would just have to wait until she went back to her home before they would get a proper rest. Carnelian is a perfect stone. It clears negative energy and sorrows and protects those against fear and anger and helps stabilize energies. Then she paused. My mother is always sending them to me to help me with my outbursts. The other two gnomes giggled. They both loved Imani very much and knew that her outbursts were just part of who she was. She was energetic and happy, like a butterfly, jumping from task to task until she was done. Why don't we meet at Hematite's cave tomorrow and ask him for some guidance in mining some carnelian? So then we can take some to the king at our next meeting, asked Soraya. The three gnomes agreed and parted for the evening. That's the end of chapter 1.